sounded like a bottle rocket. This is the only thing I've ever tested that's actually faster than the speedometer said. Holy smokes. Oh, what's that? Just getting my money's worth? Don't mind if I do. 45 miles per hour. Hello everybody, welcome to another beautiful day here on the Ginger on Wheels YouTube channel. Are you looking for an e-bike that's ridiculously fast but maybe a little bit more low profile than the Surron bike, which is basically a motorcycle? Well, look no further. Today we're riding around on the eMove RoadRunner Pro. This is an e-bike brought to you by VoroMotors. Thank you very much for sending this for review. Today we're gonna ride around on this thing a little bit. I'll show you what it looks like up close and let's just have some fun. It's been a while since we just had some pure fun. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let's roll the intro and test this thing out.
Alert! Surron attempting to start beef.
For the record, there was no actual beef. We just did laps for fun. There was no clear winner either way, but we both definitely got that out of our systems for the day.
That was fun. Send it. All right, let's do a top speed test real quick before we run out of juice. It's a speed mode 5 in the boost. We're in dual motor, I think. Yeah, dual motor speed mode 5. We've got the phone for accurate speed. Holy smokes. You really gotta lean forward on this thing at top speed. The front's pretty squirrely with full PSI on the tire. So according to the box, this thing goes 50 miles per hour. I weigh 185 pounds and we're about full charge, at least what I was when I left the house a mile ago, down to 57 volts. Holy crap. All right, this is basically just turned into a test, high output test. That was like a minute of full sending right there. Full discharge, front and rear controllers. Don't do that. All right, so maybe you're in the market for a Surron. Maybe you don't want to spend $3,000 to go really fast on a small electric bike, or maybe you just don't see the value because this RoadRunner Pro is only $2,600 from VoroMotors. I've got a coupon you can use. I'll link that down in the description with a nice little link you can click on and help support the channel. But as always, rest assured, we're gonna be totally unbiased and impartial on this scoot. Let's do some skids. Can we do skids? Whoa! Yeah, we can do skids. I mean, the rear tire's got some nice skid traction. This must be a full street tire. Let's check it out. Good Lord. All right, let's check this thing out up close a little bit so you can see what we're riding around on. All right, so this is the eMove RoadRunner Pro. This is the successor to the eMove RoadRunner. Apparently they came out with a nice little eMove RoadRunner, perfect little commuter mini bike. And everyone said, yeah, it needs more juice. So they just juiced the crap out of it. They had the Tronic RoadRunner for a while. This is like a step below the Tronic and a step above the RoadRunner V2. So this is a really fast dual motor, 60 volt, 30 amp hour LG battery, 2000 watt dual motors. You can see these nice tires here. And the thing I like about the tires, it actually has a split rim design and tubeless tires. So you get the best of both worlds. They literally reinvented the wheel to get that thing. Really nice feature. It's got the foot pegs here with a nice little wavy metal design. There's no real grip, so your feet can still slip off here pretty easily. And they do fold up like this, so you can slide it in and out of doorways and stuff easier. Kickstand right here. It's a little bit low for me. It's very robust, but I do wish it were adjustable. I wish it was height adjustable so that I could, adjust it for different types of terrains I might want to park the bike on. This rear suspension here, you might be able to tell, it is like the fanciest looking thing on the bike. That's because I replaced the stock suspension. If you weigh like over 150 pounds and you want to full send this thing around, replace the stock suspension. I'll put a link to these in the description and it is a very worthwhile upgrade. This thing felt legitimately hazardous riding around with the stock rear suspension because it was just bottoming out and smashing all down the road at 50 miles an hour. So upgraded these, we're all good to go now. I have no complaints at all. I do like the fender. It's nice, goes all the way to the front and pretty far enough to the back. It's not gonna wick water up onto your back because it's got this little lip on the rear here. And it's made of metal, so you're not gonna crack it, at least not that easily. Front fender, let me give you a little tip. It's got these brackets here. Make sure the brackets are slid all the way up to the bottom of this mount piece for the handlebars right here. Yeah, I should mention, the mounts on this are plastic. This is the fender's metal, the mounts are plastic, so when the tire comes up from the suspension, it can just snap the mounts off. So be careful, make sure the mounts are all the way up. It's got a very loud motorcycle style horn underneath the headlight here. Yeah, I tightened my headlight down so you can't see it that well, but it's the same horn that's on the Wolf scooters. It's a very loud motorcycle horn. And a light that looks like a motorcycle light. It has got a low and a high beam with these little side runners on, but it's not amazing. It's not a motorcycle light. It's like a moped light, I think. We have Zoom hydraulic brakes that have been, rebranded VoroMotors, but this is the Zoom style brake you see on a lot of electric scooters. And the bike does have 5 levels of electronic braking, thankfully, because these brakes, I do feel like they're a little bit underpowered. The rotors, as you can tell, are massive. I think they're 180 millimeter rotors, but I just don't feel like the brakes have that much stopping power. Maybe it's the brand, maybe we need more pistons, I don't know.
I can smell something burning.
Yeah, burnt up the front. The bike has 5 levels of electric braking, so I kept it on like level 2 or 3, and that assists enough that you don't really have to rely on the brakes that much. It's got a bunch of little riser pieces here for the bars, so you can adjust the height this way when you're assembling it, and it also has this adjustable angle here for the front stem, so you can adjust the angle to how high you want. You can see here I have it all the way up for me because I'm a tall guy. I don't like crouching down really far forward. It does have keys. The keys do need to be in and in the on position for the bike to work. In here, you might not be able to see it that well, but there is a removable battery with a little handle back here. Be very conscious of this motor wire. If you're taking out the battery, make sure you don't get that snagged on anything. So with the battery in the off position, it'll unlock. Hopefully you can see when I turn the key and unlock the bike, that pin lifts up. And when that pin is up, you can pull the battery out. So when we have it locked like this and the pin's down, battery's not going anywhere. But I like to leave it. Keys in the locked position. Got a charge port here. This is an XLR charge port. You can see on the motor wire here, it's got this little metal screw thingy. That's because you can unscrew the motor, and when you take it off, you can actually pull the whole motor off. And this cable right here, you don't have to fish the motor wire out of the controller compartment, which is underneath the seat. You can just unscrew it right here and pull the whole motor off. So that's really nice. It's got detachable motor wires. It's got removable split rims, tubeless tires. Very nice, very well put together. Oh, I should talk about the seat. On the original RoadRunner, on the Gen 1 RoadRunner, I heard they had a pretty uncomfortable seat. And this seat is the upgraded seat that you see on the RoadRunner V2. I do feel like it is still pretty uncomfortable though. I've got a bony little butt, 185 pounds, so a lot of weight on it, but I don't feel like it's narrow or it's wide enough at the top here. You can see it goes about this wide and then it sort of slants down for the remainder of the width. I wish the seat were actually that wide so that both of my butt bones could sit on the flat. My butt bones hang off the side a little bit and the seat just pushes up, and it gets pretty uncomfortable after about 30 minutes, I'm not gonna lie. I wish I could say nicer things about the seat because I know they tried really hard to upgrade it, but it's squishy and it'll do, just not good for long rides. Maybe like 30 minutes tops. I did a range test on this thing when I first got it, and I did the unboxing, and after about 45 minutes of riding, this was a night ride, I didn't really film it, but my butt hurt. So the seat's comfy, but still does hurt your butt. It's got this little cover compartment right here for the battery. I should have mentioned that. You have to lift this cover up to get the battery out when you want to remove it, but it has that nice little pin there so it locks in. Not going to go anywhere unless you want it to. Oh, awesome. Still 74% battery. This is the first GoPro expedition with my official GoPro extended life batteries, so I'm going to be out for a while, hopefully talking, riding, doing some fun stuff. Okay, so that's a pretty brief overview of the bike. I did do a very particular detailed walk around in the unboxing video, so I'll link that above right here. You should go check that out now if you haven't. This will be more of a ride video, so let's hop on the thing and ride before the sun goes down. It's getting that time of day. All right, so when you sit on the bike, this is just my phone here, you can ignore that. I was using this for speed though, and I noticed this actual speed is 1 or 2 miles an hour faster than the bike says. But anyway, to turn it on, we're gonna hold the power button here in the upper right of our little dashboard. You can see it says VoroMotors, very cool. And this screen has a lot of nice detailed information on it, but I do wish it wasn't as detailed. It doesn't need to be like this. The numbers don't need to be so small. This is the gears in the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you can barely see them. You could replace the VoroMotors logo with just a giant 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, and that would be a lot easier to read. This is your motor temperature over here, and this is the motor amperage, and you can see if the front is on or off. We hold the mode button, and our rocket ship turns into a leaf, and then the front motor goes off, so hold it again to go into dual motor mode, which is where I like to live. Dual motor mode, speed mode 1, check this out. This is a function of the sine wave controllers. We're flooring it. Nothing, nothing. There it goes. So very, very gradual acceleration. I think you get like 5 amps to the front and rear motor. Just like the Cabo Wolf King GT Pro though, you do have adjustable settings for the 5 speed modes. You can adjust how much power the controllers are sending to the front motor or the rear motor in any given speed mode. So you can make them feel quicker or not as quick. You can send more power to the front motor or less. And I would suggest less, because this thing, you're seated so far back that there is not a lot of weight on the front tire, and still has a 2,000 watt motor just like the rear, but the front motor front tire just peels out ruthlessly. Check this out. We're gonna put it into 5th gear here, dual motor. Listen to the front tire. Can you hear that? It was spinning out that entire time. No pun intended. Listen for the front tire. All right, stop. It peeled out up to 20 miles per hour. The Wolf King GT Pro will peel out up to 35 miles per hour, but this thing is only 60 volts, only 2,000 watt motors. So I would beep the horn here on a smaller scooter, but let me just show you what the horn sounds like. We have a little moped horn. Ooh, nice view. Look at those trees. I was talking all about the trees. I'm talking about the nice fall foliage, folks. Get your mind and your RoadRunner Pro out of the gutter. Ooh, speaking of putting your RoadRunner Pro into a gutter. Okay, don't off-road the thing. Don't off-road your eMove RoadRunner Pro. It is not made for that. It's called a RoadRunner Pro, not an off-road runner Pro. Man, if you're ripping and dipping on this thing, beware if you're taking any sort of corner or braking. Front end's really squirrely at high speed with the full PSI, and when the tire's peeling out, you just can't control it. It sounded like a bottle rocket. That rear tire has so much traction. All right, if I lean over the front of the bars, then it's okay. Oh boy. Yeah, we're gonna have to do some fun stuff. Okay, well that was fun. We are back now after an impromptu race on the velodrome track with a new friend named Jacob. Jacob, if you're watching the video, make sure to comment, like, subscribe. Everyone go like Jacob's comment. He said he was gonna start a YouTube channel. Bro, this is your chance. Do it. But we raced him around the velodrome on the track on the RoadRunner Pro. Bro had me on the straightaways, I think, but I got him on the corners. Not because my bike is faster, but because my bike has street tires, and he's rocking the off-road knobbies, sending it around the track at 40 miles an hour on the knobbies. Probably not the best idea, but hey, I can't say I haven't done it. When you're up in the very upper lip and you're going around the corner with the off-road tires at like 45 miles an hour, it just feels like you're gonna fly off into outer space. It doesn't feel like the tires are gonna have enough traction to suck you back down into the track, but you do every time. I love that velodrome. Okay, anyway, cruising around. So one of the main takeaways, actually I guess two of the big takeaways with the RoadRunner Pro, one of them is that it is very rear centric. A lot of the weight is over the rear tire when you're seated on it, which is the case for most e-bikes, but especially on this one. So when you floor it, the front tire is so far away, unless you're sitting on the very front of this long seat. When you give it the beans in dual motor mode, you're gonna lose traction. So first thing, reduce the amperage output to your front motor in all the speed modes. I just recommend that across the board for this thing. There's too much power going to the front. We don't need that much. So yeah, just a little peeled out going up a little bridge tie. Another pretty important thing you should know if you're thinking about the eMove RoadRunner Pro is the voltage sag. This thing has a really powerful drivetrain, 90 amps of total output, 45 amps front and back, sine wave controllers, 2,000 watt motors, but we're only looking at a 60 volt, 30 amp hour battery. We don't really have enough cells in parallel to sustain high discharge output for a really long time without seriously taxing each cell. We got the LG M50 LT cells from LG inside. If we had a 40 amp hour battery or 45, we wouldn't see nearly as much voltage sag, but we've got a 30 amp hour battery, so you can leave with 90% charge and floor it, and when you're at top speed flooring it, you're gonna see like 50% battery room. So the range on this thing is definitely not its strong suit. If you're in single motor, maybe like speed mode 3, you'll probably get 25 to 30 miles of range, and that's just casual cruising. Maybe you're just a nice commuter, you might flip it into dual motor to get up a hill every now and again, but if you're in dual motor mode, ripping around like I have been, expect like 10 miles of range. Honestly, I'm not exaggerating that. Alrighty, we've got turn signals. Let me just turn my turn signal on and go across the street here. So in the back, this is my left turn signal on. Looks like one of those games where I have to smack it and try and get the light, you know? Jackpot. Anyway, it's not timed. It turns on when you click the blinker up here, turns off when you click it again, and it has a light that lets you know if the blinker is on. So that also has a little beam light here for when your front light is on. All right, so let's talk about who this bike is for. This bike is for someone who wants to use an electric vehicle to commute and has experience on other fast things like a dirt bike, motorcycle, e-bike, scooter, something. I don't recommend that a beginner buy this bike at all. The front tire, when you go into dual motor mode, and just the sheer amount of speed it has, if you accidentally flip it into that mode and you're not in the right mindset, that's a crash waiting to happen. You're gonna go, you're just gonna... This is why we have a horn. Also for this. Oh, this guy's good at driving though. Maybe you can see my headlight now. See the little ball of light up there? It's not great, but it's something. I've seen videos of people riding this bike, and I know it doesn't look that cool, but I feel really cool riding this bike around. Fully extended arms, lean back, full dual 2,000 watt motors under my waist. Riding off into the sunset. I really like how easy this bike coasts. There's no electronic resistance on the motors, nothing scraping or rubbing. When you're not holding the throttle, it feels like you're just rolling on a really heavy bike. So it's really efficient down hills, or if you're just on a flat section not giving it gas. I'm just coasting right now off the gas that I already gave it. That front tire is ludicrous. Oh my gosh, I'm down to 55 volts. Wow, 58 volts now. This thing isn't great. It says I got 53 volts now, which is really close to dead. So I am going to switch it into single motor mode, even though I might not have to, which is less than ideal, just because I'm scared of the battery dying. I wish I had an accurate readout of how much battery I actually had left. 53 volts, 52 volts. I'm gonna slow her down because I'm not cutting off on this. We're in the middle of a 40-mile-an-hour road going 33, less than ideal. Oh, what's that? You didn't want to wait in traffic? Me either. Let's just go to the very front of the line because guess what? E-bike. All right, we're sending 52 volts in the rush hour traffic, turning on my blinker, gonna be getting over one lane. Oh, wow. And testing out the brakes. Oh yeah, it stops. Turn on that nice blinker. I smell something burning. That's the front brakes. Ooh. Let's see, oh, I had my turn signal on that whole time. Like a noob. You can commute in your $30,000 car, or you can just send it on a $3,000 e-bike, and I guarantee you I'm having more fun than the guy in that car. Best case scenario, he's got a cool song on the radio. Oh, better pull into the gas station so I can spend money on gas. Womp, womp, womp. Guess what? I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna go spend money on Sprite. Suckers. This lady's having car trouble. Looks like she should have bought the e-Move RoadRunner Pro instead. I think this thing is probably about as low as you can get to the ground safely before cars can't see you anymore, because my head and my shoulders are just barely sticking up above the shoulder height of the window. Oh yeah, I was talking about who this bike's for. This bike is for someone who has a medium commute, has some experience in power sports, and just wants a really fun, zippy ride to work. If your ride to work's maybe like 5 to 7 miles and you want to send it around like 30 miles an hour to and from, this is your bike, folks. It's only $2,600 too. I think this thing was like $3,000 when it first came out. Prices are going down now. It's looking pretty good. Even the lower end e-bike like a Talaria X3 is still going to cost you $3 grand. This thing's got the same drivetrain, same power. It's just smaller. The fit and finish is not as sexy, I will say. It looks a lot more rudimentary. Looks like the guys in VoroMotors just welded this thing together in the warehouse. Talaria is a bit sexier, but if you want to just go for that ultra ghost low profile look, here's your bike, e-Move RoadRunner Pro. Now, who is this bike not for? This bike is not for somebody who wants to go over 45 miles per hour. This will do it maybe downhill, but only a full battery on a good day. This is not for somebody who has a longer commute and needs higher speed rides. The other thing I don't like about it is it's got that XLR charge port. The only charger that I found that works for this bike is the one that came with this bike, and it's not a high amp output, so it's gonna take a while to charge this thing up. I think it was like a 10-hour charge time. This bike is not for beginners. This bike is not something you're gonna buy for your mom or your sister, your girlfriend to just cruise around on with you, or maybe it's her first bike. No, get the RoadRunner for that. The RoadRunner, the tame version, RoadRunner V2 single motor, that thing's very calm, very nice, friendly bike. This thing is aggressive. It's like a blacked out jet fighter, kind of. Just goes too fast for how big it is.
Okay, well I think this RoadRunner Pro video is getting a little bit long, so I'm gonna cut it into 2 parts. This will be the end of the first part, and the next part is just gonna be a ride along and range test. We're gonna see officially how much range this battery has. So stay tuned, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you for the next video.